This is Kelley, the Crafty Realtor, and today I'm going to show you how I make a neat canvas family tree. I hope everybody's doing great. I am going to do my quick little cleanup this morning and then I will meet y'all in the craft room. Be sure to watch this video about 10 minutes that'll change your life. Alright, so we're here in the craft room. I'm going to be making a really neat canvas. It's kind of like a family tree. Well, it is a family tree, what I'm saying, kind of like. I had gone to one of my friend's house and she had one on her wall. It was beautiful. It had like all the family photos and then it had like a metal tree over the top of it. And she paid a pretty good bit of money for it. And it was beautiful. I mean, it really was. And I was like staring at it and thinking, I think I can replicate that for a lot cheaper. And I did. I made a small one and then I made another one for somebody for Christmas. So I wanted to show y'all how to make this. I wanted to share this with y'all so that if you wanted to make your own, you could. For this project, you're gonna need the canvas size of your choice. You can reuse an old canvas by repainting it, or you can buy new canvas. You can usually find them on sale at Hobby Lobby. You know, a lot of times you can get them 40% off. I already had this canvas, so I just bought some paint and painted it. I personally, you don't have to do this step. I'm going to go over the steps real quick, but I'm going to go over in more detail in the video. But you're going to want to paint or get your canvas ready ever how you want it. This is going to be like a sepia is all my pictures are going to be done in. And I like more of a warm gray. So this is a really warm gray. This is I got at Hobby Lobby. Don't know the color of it. But anyway, the colors that I use, there is no rhyme or reason. You can do full color photos if you want. You can do sepia colors if you want. You can do black and gray if you want. There's just so many options and so many things that you can do with this. You're gonna have to color grade your photos to all be matched if that's what you want. Then you're gonna Marshpodge them to the canvas. You're gonna lay them out and Marshpodge them to the canvas. At that point, then you're going to do the tree. And the secret of my tree is it looks like it's metal, but it's hot glue. And believe me, it takes a lot of hot glue. But I make my tree out of hot glue. Then I paint the tree. I paint it black, and then I like my tree to be silver, so I take a silver paint and paint over the top of the black, and it just makes it look like it's metal, because people have been like mine that I've done, touch it and go, is that metal? Then after all that's done and everything dries, you're gonna wanna get a Marshpodge sealer. This one here is a gloss finish. It's not crazy shiny, but that's what I want it to be, a little more shiny, because the original one that I was doing off of, it looked like I had lacquer or something over the top of it. But I'm gonna use the Marshpodge sealer. And then that's it. We're done. All right, let's go start working on these photos. So I have gone in, I use Lightroom. You can use any program you want. I'm not gonna go into that because I'm not really good at that whole doing that stuff, but use whatever program you want to make all your photos match. Like I said, I did mine all in sepia. So now you go in and print your pictures. I do almost all of them in 3x5s. And then the pictures that I really like, I'll go back and click those that I think I might want a 5x7. And then we'll go from there. Let me get these printed and then we'll head back to rearranging them. Now, I've got all my pictures printed. Like I said, I print every one of the pictures in the wallet size. And then the 3x5, I just go back and select the ones that I wanted, that I thought that I wanted a 3x5. I say it that way. And I still have these photos in the wallet, so if I end up not using them, I have them all in the wallets. This is the next section that is probably the most tedious, most time consuming. I'm gonna kind of show you how I do it, and then I'll speed through that process. So the first thing I like to do is I'm gonna draw out where I want my tree. And on the last few that I did the tree in the middle and had it kind of branched out, and that's how the one that she had did. I thought about on this one to do something a little bit different. You want to kind of go ahead and sketch out your tree. So I'm going to kind of put mine over to the side and then just have branches from there. So that's where I'm kind of thinking. Now, you don't have to draw. You can just kind of sketch out what you feel like is where you want your tree. You can kind of use a picture as a reference if you want, but you want to kind of draw it out so that like where the trunk is, you're not putting pictures. Now you want them to be inside of it a little bit. So I'm going to kind of draw out my tree using like a little bit of a reference. You can have like the tree branches going ever how you want in the tree. And I feel like I've got this a little too wide. So I'm going to kind of erase a little bit. And we will make it come in a little bit. And then you just kind of have some branches. And then you want some of these to kind of come down a little bit, I think. And then you're going to do like a few little branches off of this. But these are just kind of for reference. The big part of it is what you want to do when we start doing the hot glue. That's when we'll do all like the little branches kind of sticking down, and then you can kind of go around pictures. But you just want to kind of do like a little bit of an idea of where you want your tree trunk. And I still think I have a little bit big, so I'm gonna shrink it down just a little bit. And like I said, it doesn't matter because most of this is going to be covered with your pictures, so you're just wanting to kind of get it about, you know, an idea of where you want it to be. All right, now we start cutting out the pictures. I'm going to pick the few big ones that I want, and I'm going to go ahead and lay them out where I want them. So, like I said, this is the tedious part, cutting pictures. You're gonna get tired of cutting pictures. And you know, you can use, like if you wanted to, you could use like one of those cutters to cut the pictures so that they're all like uniform. But I kind of like the waviness of me cutting them with scissors. But I'll just kind of lay these pictures out where I feel like I want the big ones to go. And you don't want all vertical or horizontal pictures. You want it to kind of be mixed up so it's a little bit of everything. But you want to do your big pictures first. And there is no rhyme or reason to laying these out. Also, remember when you're cutting out the pictures, you can change the size of them. You don't have to cut them exactly how it is. If you want to make them smaller, or you can. Because kind of like this one, let me show this one for an example. I cut this one out and it's like tall. Well, I can turn this one into like a square one. I just cut there and now I have like a big square one. And see, kind of like this one, I want the mountains, but I don't care about all that white that's up at the top. So I'm gonna cut it a little shorter, still so you can see the hill, but you get rid of all that extra white. Once you have your big photos laid out, then you're gonna cut out and put all your little photos down. I'm not gonna bore you with this, I'm gonna speed us on up. Another tip about just going through and cutting out the pictures, go through what I do, because you're not going to use probably all these photos, and like you're going to have some that you're going to use, but go through and cut out the ones that you know you want on your picture. That way you can put them down first and then fill in with the ones that you want on there, but they're just not like, oh, those are a must-haves. So I'm still cutting out pictures and I'm putting them together. And you really want them to fit pretty tight and overlap each other. Like you want to leave some space. See, like how that one's over the top of some pictures, but it fits that space good. So that's kind of what, but I think I'm gonna cut that down just a little bit on the top. Yep, see? And you want them to overlap. Now here's the hard part. Once I get through doing all this, I have to glue them down. And it is very hard to take all these off, move them over, and then put them back the way they came, because they don't quite, it's kind of like you unpackaging something and you can never get it back together the way you had it to start with. That's kind of how this has. So we're just kind of doing like a basic. I'm going to put them all on, then I'm going to try to move them all off and keep them in order, and then put them back on. But still more cutting. This is the tedious part. So I'm getting it kind of narrowed down. I've kind of gotten the whole outside done. Then you've got the tree going up through here. So now I've got to finish filling all this in. And another little quick tip, when you're cutting out your pictures, cut them out all the way. And then see, like this one, it's got like a lot of area that you could get rid of. So when you get down to like a narrow little spot, see, like this has got like a tree coming up through there. You can take that whole photo. And like I said, this tree is kind of just a reference. So it's gonna change a little bit, but we're gonna put this one so we can see us through there, right there. And then that fills in that space. And then the tree will kind of go around that photo, because you want them overlapping somewhat so you're not just looking at the background. All right, let me keep going. All right, down to this last little section. And if you want, like I said, there is no rhyme or reason to this. If you want to use like a lot more bigger photos, you can. I just wanted to use a few bigger photos and then add all these other ones in. I need one more vertical. I need way more horizontal. Remember that, horizontal. I need way more horizontal pictures. I have a few, but not a ton. And I have one left, and that'll finish up that one spot. There. It is all filled in. It's all overlapping. I need to clean up my mess. And then I got to take, and this is the hard part. Oh, I have one more photo I need. Because there's going to be a tree branch going somewhere right in there. So I need like a little picture. And that's the thing, is you kind of just pick pictures, because some of them are going to be covered up a little bit, so you're not really concerned about it. So like I'll stick that one like kind of right in there, and then there'll be like a tree branch going up to there somewhere. All right, now as I was saying, this is kind of the hard part, because they're all on there and they're all on there pretty good, like where you need them to be, and there's so many overlaps. What I try to do is I'm gonna pull off this section, and then I just kind of keep going, and I really haven't done a good way of doing this. I end up making a mess. All right, let me clean up my mess, and then I'm gonna start Marshpodging them on. So now I'm going to Marshpodge this on. This is the hard part. So here's how I do it, and there might be a better way. I wish somebody would tell me if there is. I just start pulling these pictures off and moving them to the side where they were at. That way I can kind of put them back on, and they'll be in close to the same place, because there is just no easy way to do this from what I've learned. Alright, so I just kind of pour a little bit of the Marshpodge up here, and I just start going across. Because you want to put down Marshpodge as a base to help them stick. You can pull them up a little bit because this is paper. I mean, once you stick it, you're kind of stuck a little bit. And then like you have which ones are going over which ones. And you can scoot them a little bit, but not much because it doesn't want to. But you want it pretty thick so that it sticks. And then I just start like gluing over the edges of them a little bit as you get them in place before you put in the next ones. We'll put on a good coat over the whole thing after it's done. And I find it easier to go along the edges and then kind of fill in the middle. And you don't remember how much you had them overlap. It's all kinds of fun stuff. But it's coming together. And I'll go ahead and tell you, this will not fit back together again. It does not work like a puzzle. You're gonna end up having some extra pictures, or you might need some more, or at least that's been my experience in the past, so. Alright, we've been drying for several hours and it feels like it's all pretty good dry. Now we're going to now we're going to try to figure out better where the tree is going to be. So you want to cut yourself out of some photos and not the other ones, and this pen is not sharpened. So you're gonna put the line inside of where you're gonna start your glue, because you want it to be a little inside so you can line it on the outside. So you kind of get that, and you're really gonna do this in a few of the main ones, but then all the little ones you're just gonna do. So I've got this side of the main one, and then I want this side of the main one coming up. This part is gonna end up going over a few pictures. Just when I ended up doing it, it's just so tight over here. But I did it the last time and it was in the center, and I felt like I lost so much of the canvas and so many of the pictures that this one I wanted to try to do the tree on this side. Also, this is a wider canvas. So I was thinking also, since it's so wide, if I put the tree in the middle, it's just not gonna flow as good, and I'm hoping this is gonna flow better. All right, let me draw this out real quick. All right, so I've kind of got that drawn out. I've got my glue. Gonna have a lot of glue in here. And then I start with doing the outline. This, like I said, this takes a lot of glue. So you're gonna start the outline, and then you're just gonna start building it up in all the spots inside. So, and you need a really hot glue gun. If you don't do a hot and you do a low temp, it's gonna take you a lot longer, because the hot glue gun heats it up enough and it's fast enough that you can pull it out. Otherwise, you can only like do little short sections before the glue starts clogging up. All right, so that side is done. Outlined. Now we're going to outline this side. Probably should have done it the other way. On this, you don't have to be perfect because this is gonna look like it is metal. Ooh. And the good thing about it is once it dries, if you don't, you can be real careful and you can get it to come off without messing up your pictures. All right, that's done. Now we're just gonna keep building up and building up and building up, and it's okay to have clops and glops, and it's kind of actually good, but its part takes a long time. Again, it's a lot of parts that take a lot, but you kind of want to do it in like strokes. Keep doing this. This is just repetition, and then after this happens, then we will get it ready to paint it and get it to look like a piece of metal. And you want it all covered with glue, with glue a good bit, because you want this part to be built up so that it sticks up off so it looks like it's a real tree. After you do this, and I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about this now, because that way you're gonna have little, whoa, glue's still going out. My old glue gun. This is the only one that I have that'll do hot. You're gonna have like little strings everywhere, but it's okay because you just rub on this and they come right off. So after you do fill in those lines and stuff, you're gonna end up figuring out, because you know a tree has like little lines and stuff that branches that come off the main branch. So you kind of look where you think, okay, I can fill in right here with a branch, and then you just put the glue right there and build it up. And then that way you're not covering up any pictures that you want. And what you'll do too is after we do this, go through a lot of glue and just keep building this up. And I just kind of try to do it a section at a time. Another thing that you're gonna add to this, like I do it at the end when I get all my branches and stuff done, is these little clear, they're for like they're glass gems, and they're for like you put in a vase or whatever, but they're flat on one side and rounded on the other. And then you just you'll end up laying them out and gluing them down, kind of gives it like a little dimension. And that was on the original one that I looked at. This just gets your hand tired, but it's not nothing horrible. We're good. Go through a lot of glue doing this. And this I'll end up taking some breaks. I actually have to go take some listing pictures here shortly, but I'll just do this for a bit and then I'll stop for a while because my hand gets tired and I can't do it with my left hand. It just doesn't work so good. Oh, it's so hard to do it with my left hand. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish this, and I'm gonna skip to the end. I'm not gonna record it because it's gonna take so long, but you kind of get the idea. I ended up, this is a 20 by 30 canvas, and it took me about 70 pictures to do it. Now that just varies on what sizes and stuff that you might use. And now I'm adding my gems. You don't glue them down to start with. We just want to kind of spread them out. And then I'm kind of looking to, it's hard to see because it is clear, but kind of where maybe I need some more branches, because I feel like I need a few more branches in a few places maybe. So that's what I'm sitting here looking at now. And then I've got my glue gun that I'm gonna add in those branches. And then you can put these anywhere you want. See, there's a good, that's 30. It's a process. You gotta look at it and think about it. Because you don't want like a ton of them on there, but you want them enough so that they look good. I've laid out where I felt like the gems would want to go, but now before I glue them down, I'm gonna paint my tree. Okay, so now, show my tree. So now I'm going to paint the tree black. Now I'm doing black because I'm gonna make my tree silver. If you're not gonna do silver, if you're gonna do a bronze colored tree, which you can buy bronze paint, I would do a brown background on your tree. But because I'm doing silver, I want to do black. Now, you're gonna put it on your brush and you're gonna go as close as you can on the edge, and you just want to paint all of it black. And around the outside edge, you've kind of got to be real easily, but then when you get to the center, you want it to paint it harder because you want to get down in every one of those grooves, because you want it to have a black background. You don't want any of the white or the clear or whatever. You don't want any of it showing. Get in there real aggressively and make sure that you get it in there. And then, like I said, you don't want any of the white showing at all. You want it all black so that you can dry brush over the top. There's a lot of steps that you have to take, that you have to constantly wait for the dry, because this is going to be another one. You want this one completely dry before you go dry brush it with the silver. And I like this kind of a flat brush because I can make it thin and I can make it thicker if I want to get in those grooves. All right, I want to concentrate. I'm going to finish painting the tree black, and then I'm going to glue down my gems. This is going to take a while to dry because you're putting it on so thick, and then it's all in these grooves and everything. So, but I am almost finished doing this part. Then I'm going to glue on the gems, and then we just wait for this to dry so that I can show you how we dry brush this. All right, I feel like I got all my spots. All right, we're going to glue down these few gems, and then we just got to wait on it to dry. Ooh, I missed it. They're hard to see, so sometimes you miss some of them, but once you start like moving around, you're like, oh yeah, there's some. I'm bad. I'll miss some of these things. All right, that's it. We're gonna wait on it to dry, then we're gonna dry brush the tree, and then we just seal it, and we'll have our finished product. I'll be back shortly. All right, it is almost dry. I wanna finish this tonight. I would recommend, I just put way too much silver. I would recommend to make it really dry. So, all right, I've got my silver. I've got me a napkin here, and I'm gonna use and kind of dry brush. And you're just gonna do this over the top of it. And put in the paint, dry it off. And you're just kind of trying to hit the highlights of it. I just think it looks so cool doing this. I never would have thought that it would have looked this neat. But you just want to keep dry brushing it and do the whole thing. It really makes it look like metal. Because now you can see the spots that are not like dried all the way because it's kind of mixing with the black a little bit and it's not making it as silvery looking. So make sure that yours dries all the way. Oh. But yeah, it's turning out really good. It just makes it look like, it makes it go from looking like a haunted house tree to something that looks good. And you cannot dry brush it. You can just keep spreading it out like I'm doing here too. Like, because it'll move around on it. See, and then I've got this one section that's and you can make it lighter, darker. It really, I love how it makes it look, the silver, once you put the silver on it. And because you put that black in it, it really gives it a lot of depth. Alright, I'm gonna finish this a little bit up. This part is probably the quickest part of the whole thing. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish this little section up and then we'll look at it. And you just can keep going over this and put as much or little as you want. And then to me, it looks like, I don't know if you can see it real good on the screen, but it looks like you've taken metal and just melted it. Like I said, there's so many options that you can do with this. You can make them small, you can make them big. This one here, I did the tree on the side, but the other ones that I've done, I did it in the middle and it branched out. I really like this one because of the shape of the canvas. I keep finding little things, but it really looks good. Well, I'm not gonna finish the last step because it's gonna look pretty much just like what it looks like. It's just gonna be sealed. But this totally has to completely dry before you do this step. But it's just a decoupage gloss sealer. It just seals it to make sure that it doesn't peel up. Another thing that I would do, I mean, if you didn't like the raw edges, and I'm probably gonna do with this one, but I don't have the materials to do it. But you can take just a piece of 1x2 wood and put it around it. I think that would be really good. That could paint it, or you could just paint this edge black and paint the edge black and then do that. I hope this inspired y'all to try this. If anybody does it, I would love for you to tag me in it. Or not tag me in it, but put it in the comments, put a picture. Well, I don't think you can do that. You can go tag me on Instagram. I have a Kelley Shaw Smith Instagram account, so you can go do that. I'm really excited how it turns out. I hope y'all think it's cool. This whole thing, depending on the canvas, how much you pay for it, you probably could have, you know, the smaller size canvas. You could do bigger size canvas. Like I said, I repurposed this canvas, so I don't have anything in it. And then the glue, you probably need about a good whole pack of glue sticks and ink for your printer. And then just black and silver paint or black and bronze. Because like I said, it would be pretty if you did like a bronze color. If you wanted more of a brown, I like the silver. That's how I done it. But I mean, I have bronze as well. Paint, I could have done it bronze. I just think it turned out so cool. Hope you liked it. Like and subscribe, and I'm gonna try to do more cool videos of different things. Like I said, my channel is crafts and I am a realtor. So I do a little bit of both because I'm your crafty realtor. Like and subscribe. Till next time.